What's up? Alright, so what I was going to say is I think it's beneficial for us if we just kind of get into some sort of conversation.
Yeah, that's what we did last time.
I think it worked.
Because last time you made that face, I'm like, okay, we're starting now.
Yeah.
And then we started it.
Mm-hmm.
Because he got like actual bad COVID, like original COVID, the OG.
Oh well, he also was like anti-vax, so.
Yeah, but that was before. I was like almost probably like a year before the vaccine.
I forgot the vax didn't even come out.
That was like when we weren't even. That was like when we first weren't even sure really how bad it was gonna be. We were thinking like maybe a couple of months, bro. Nobody knew 2 years at that point.
Dude, the craziest thing was when school shut down.
I know.
And it was like.
I was working.
You were because you
had I had
co-op.
Co-op, yeah.
Oh my god!
So I was working for a company, and school shut down. But we had a double shop week for like whatever reason. There was like finals or something. It was like almost the end of the year, and we had a double shop week and then double academic week. So we had the two shops, and then I worked 2 weeks in a row. I was hyped because I'm gonna get a lot of money. Like nice. And then that weekend, I think it was like March or it was like February or March. Whatever it was, we were gonna go into a double academic week, and I'm like, I do not want to go into a double academic week because nobody really liked academic weeks. Shop weeks were better because one, you could make money, two, it was more fun working with your hands.
Mm-hmm.
So like, we were like getting like ready, mentally prepared to go into a double academic week with tests and shit, and then all of a sudden they like that weekend they were like, nope, like you're done for a while. And then we thought we were going to come back in like 2 weeks. So we were thinking like, oh, maybe just take 2 weeks off. We'd let them figure it out. And then we never went back to school.
No, I know.
It was so weird.
That was how my senior year ended the same. I mean, we were at the same time. But it was like, I remember being in psychology. They're like, yeah, there's this thing that's going to happen. We might close down. And we were like, okay, yeah, whatever, fine. And it was going to be up to the school's discretion at that point. Mm-hmm. And then we closed down. And that was it.
Yeah, never went back to school.
Never saw those people again except for graduation. And that was kind of like a nonsense anyway.
We had a graduation, but the thing that was good about our school is that we got to do it, like, by shop. So the people that you really, like, hung out with for 4 years were the people you graduated with. Like, I wouldn't, like, if I was going to have it some sort of way, it would have been that way. Like, 20 people at a time, like, everybody's family could actually show up. Mm-hmm. Because it was, like, you could have a lot more family there if there was less people there to have family for. So they could have, like, maybe I'd say it was probably 100 people at a time per shop because like 20 kids and then like all the family. Probably like 80 to 100 people per time, and they did it for like 15 shops, which is probably really expensive.
Dude, we had the whole school. Our entire school was there in a football field. We were all 6 feet apart, and we all had to wear masks outside. That was the thing. The masks.
The mask? I would never wish that upon anyone. I would hate to live in China.
Bro, and the funny thing is, I think they do it voluntarily almost.
They do, but like voluntarily, but like also not voluntarily.
Okay, I have a question about the mask thing. I never understood why everyone was so against wearing a mask.
It just was uncomfortable for me.
I get, but like, okay, I don't think anyone would prefer to wear a mask. Like,
no,
I definitely wouldn't.
I wasn't an anti-masker. If that's the point. I'm not trying to portray myself as an anti-masker. I wore it.
That's the question.
I wore it. But I didn't want to, but I did.
And it was poised as this, like...
This useless thing, like, it wasn't doing anything.
And I didn't understand, like, bro, but the thing about the anti-maskers that I didn't understand... And, look, whatever, you want to argue if a mask is effective or not, I'm going to laugh at you, but that's not even what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I didn't understand why some people were like, oh, this is just the government exercising its right to control you. I was like...
Do you want to kill other people and yourself?
I was like, I just don't understand why. I really didn't understand.
It's those people who didn't have anybody close to them that was a health risk. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
Because my grandmother was like a health risk. Like my mom, she has like pre-existing conditions. Like I couldn't come home. I couldn't like go out consciously knowing I could come home and like give somebody something that like a sickness that could kill them.
The funny thing about COVID was, the other funny thing about COVID, there was a lot of funny things about COVID. Running out of toilet paper was funny.
It wasn't even the toilet paper that was funny. like that was funny, whatever. We never ran out though, because I don't know if you actually genuinely ever ran out.
I was at Taylor's house and they were one of the people that
because we were able to find it. Like, I don't know why we would just, like, we got lucky a bunch of times. I knew, like, one day I was out at work, and we would be, like, traveling around to different job sites because we were, like, a service team. So, like, I would go, and we would drive by, like, different supermarkets and just, like, peek in. And, like, we eventually found a Shaw's on, like, Comm Ave in Boston that had, like, cleaning wipes. Like, they had everything, bro, but they limited it to one per customer, and they must have restocked that day because we went in there, we got like one of everything, and we brought it home to our family. It was kind of lit,
bro. There are several things that I hope never make a return that just don't work during pandemics. A, vaccine cards, because those things are the easiest thing to just like literally photocopy, and two, well, actually, this is just two main things. Remember when you there used to be aisles in supermarkets
with the fucking
arrows
on the ground, bro. And then people would look at you dirty walking. I'm like, what do you want me to do, bro? There's like 15 people waiting to get in this aisle. I gotta go.
COVID was so weird. People would literally we were walking in there was a wrong way in shopping aisles.
Yeah.
Which is insane to think about. And I remember taking groceries home. This is how confusing it was. This is what this is gonna become. This is gonna be like a documenting what COVID was like while it's still fresh in my head somewhat. Do you also remember, and I don't know if you did this, we didn't know how the disease spread.
She wiped down the groceries, bro. My mom wiped the mail too. I'm not even lying, bro. She wouldn't touch the packages unless she like wiped them.
Retroactively, it's like,
I mean,
COVID was bad, but it wasn't like, we made it think it was like a zombie disease. Like
one of the big things was that like cruise ship that they figured out that like, it was like early on in the thing, and like people were getting off the cruise ship, and like they went into the cruise ship like up to 2 weeks that the disease, they were still finding it like on the cabinets, and like that was really like the big revelation. That's like, this does not just like go away on its own. You have to like clean things. Yeah, that's why people were doing that.
Yeah, you're right, because there was some.
There was like a Carnival cruise ship that was like that got locked down because they were on it during the lockdown happening. So all those people were like stuck on it, but then when they finally got them all off, they were like doing like swabs and whatnot on like the cabinets, and they could find like on the surfaces of like cabinets and like countertops, it was still there like 2 weeks later.
Interesting.
After the people left.
I wonder if you can still get sick from it though, because there is like
now.
No, not now.
Oh, but maybe.
I mean, because like I know that at the end of the day, what it was like, or what they decided was mostly airborne.
Yeah.
And
it has to be like hit you like right out of the like almost out of the mouth. Like if it hits the table and then you like come by like 2 days later and wipe it, and
you're not gonna get it. Yeah.
But we didn't know, bro.
No, and
that was scary.
That was scary. That was, and
genuine fear.
I think there was I forget a lot of the bad things about COVID, and I kind of romanticized this idea of COVID in my head of being like, that was so fun.
It was a little bit though.
Like, oh, I get to stay home and play.
Comparatively to like how our lives are now, like.
Yeah,
there's a lot more going. Like I knew in the moment though.
Cashing that stimmy check.
Yeah, the stimmy neutron.
You got the stimmy neutron.
The stimmy turners.
That was like prime era Bitcoin. Like people were making bank, bro.
Oh my god.
I remember being in Coinbase and thinking I was gonna be a millionaire. I lost $5,000, but that's besides the point. Yeah, I got cooked. My mom didn't get cooked. I told my mom to invest. She's still cashing out on that investment from 2021. But I got cooked.
What, did you cash out too early or something?
I had paper hands, bro.
I knew you had paper hands.
I had paper hands.
Because if she's still cashing out, that means that she held on.
Yeah.
You just had.
At least you got time in hands, bro.
Damn, that was also a crazy time. The paper hands, bro. That was like
GameStop. That was kind of the same era.
Yeah, that was after. That was like a year after.
That was a year after.
And like, but it was still COVID.
Yeah.
Because I worked in a hospital.
You did?
I worked in a hospital during that time.
Doing what?
Like electrical.
Oh, okay.
Construction. But like, I worked in a hospital.
Okay, I understand.
During like the back end, or I would say like if COVID was like what, 2 years, maybe.
I would say back to front.
It started in February.
Yeah.
I got a job in a hospital in August.
Yeah.
So
because we were still wearing masks. There was like still technically like emergencies.
Yeah. 6 months into COVID, I got a job at a hospital, and when they called me and told me that, I'm like, oh. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm going into a hospital. I actually got COVID once, but it wasn't for like a year in.
Was it
They were
crazy
pretty
in there?
clean in there.
Was it like?
I guess it was crazier right before I got there.
Oh, okay.
It was like the figuring out phase. I was unemployed for that because I was transitioning from graduating high school to like getting a job, my first job out of high school, which was in the union. I had to wait for some union stuff, but like they told me it was like chaos. Like
yeah.
the time that I spent not there was like the worst time.
Dude, I remember how many. I remember how afraid everyone was. So like, there was. In my head, I really don't even know how true this is. I remember there was like a time during COVID where it was like, this is the summertime, it's going to slow down, people are outside, there's going to be outdoor activities. And then there was a talk like, oh, Thanksgiving's coming around.
Yeah.
Christmas is coming around.
COVID 2, bro.
COVID 2. Yeah, it was like,
oh my
there was
God.
the Delta strain. And we were like, the Delta strain? Like,
dude,
this
that was bad. Because it started in the winter. And then by the next winter, like fall into winter, it was like ramp up because it's going to get bad. It slowed down in the summer, it really did.
Yeah, because it was, you're outside.
Like the first like maybe February to like April, maybe it was like bad. But then like the July, like that summer was like not as bad.
Dude, there was so many crazy things during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
The restaurants having tables 6 feet apart, or they also had this thing where you could have the barriers. Do you remember that? My restaurant?
A little bit. Yeah, so
we had all the barriers.
It was like if the booth was like behind you, there was like plexiglass behind you separating the
Which
booth.
is why I'm talking about this.
I know.
That was insane.
They literally did anything they could to make it so that they could be open. Cause bro, my favorite breakfast place went under during COVID.
Really?
The Tumble Inn in Saugus, bro.
Damn.
I will never forget that place. That place was so good, bro.
A lot of places that were like kind of teetering on the edge.
Like family owned stuff too. Like that was like a small, very small family owned. Like the dining room was like as big as this room. Like it was small. Like you couldn't have that many people in there. But it was the best breakfast place, bro. Beat like smoked Irontown any day of the week. I don't care.
I know. I have such
you like Irontown, but
what's it called? I love Irontown, but I you've told me that it's mid. Which I can respect.
Like, but I know what it could be,
Mm.
and that's why. Because I've had the other place I'm talking about, which is like arguably like maybe like less than 10 minutes away, depending on which way you go. It's like very close proximity. But because Irontown was such like a big, in a more popular area, well-known place, like they survived. Because they probably did takeout and all that. Like
you had to adapt, dude.
Bro.
During COVID, we were doing
crazy.
crazy delivery, like insane delivery. For one point, I mean, we were marketing, we were doing whatever we could. We had to-go martinis. That's when that whole thing started.
Yeah, that's
we could
crazy.
put martinis in a bottle. But the craziest thing we did was my mom and I dressed up in Ghostbusters costumes.
Oh, in the car?
And delivered food in the Ghostbusters car.
That's insane.
So it really was like restaurants were fighting tooth and nails to try to stay open. And you know what's funny though? When after that whole thing happened, we have been busier
than before
COVID.
You probably got a lot more new clients.
I think so.
Because like a lot of places
so
closed, and a lot of places like during that time just completely shut down. So like they were looking for what's open.
Yeah.
And you guys were open.
Yeah. We never really mastered the delivery thing. Delivery is really complicated.
You kind of just need to do like a DoorDash.
Yeah.
Like you get to set up with DoorDash.
Except they fuck you. Like
money wise, they take a lot of money.
Oh my god, bro.
And it's crazy because they charge. That's why when you order DoorDash, the restaurant always charges more than what the menu items cost.
How'd you notice that? That is 100% true.
Because I did it the other day when I was looking. My mother wanted to order like McDonald's one night, and she was like, "Hey, what do you want?" And I'm like looking at the prices and like,
you've got if anyone got the prices at
McDonald's. I know McDonald's prices like the back of my hand, bro. I always get the same thing every time, and like everything
funny.
was like $1 or $2 more.
Yeah.
And I was like, why do they care? Why are they charging more? Like, is it more inconvenient for them? But I guess I didn't think about it. The fees per $1 that you probably spend is like...
All of our menu items at the Venetian Moon are more expensive online than they are in person.
Yeah.
But if you call, it's not like that. But
yeah, because then... Well, you also have to understand, too, like, from somebody... Like, you understand because you do it, but, like... The restaurant's not going to eat that charge. The customer's paying for that charge because if they want the convenience of delivery, that's not your fault. But also at the same time, you can't increase it too much because then they're not going to order it.
Yeah, exactly.
So you need to like maybe eat like a little bit of the charge, but you're charging more anyway, so you're like making up. It's like
no, that's 100% how it is. I mean, that's kind of the same. Whenever like people, you could talk about like taxes. I don't even know if we talked about this last week, but the whole tariff thing with Trump.
A little bit, not
like
really.
The thing is, anytime you try to charge a business, it always just kind of
falls on the consumer.
It falls on the consumer.
So it really doesn't matter.
So you can do whatever you want, but the consumer is going to eat the price of the.
And then, like, will the consumer even start keep buying that product? That's the problem, because then you have you put tariffs for people to have more jobs here or whatever the reason is, but then all you're doing is just forcing companies not to sell things.
You're inflating
either that or you're just gonna put them out of business.
And then everyone loses.
Yeah, and then everyone
loses.
Because then there's less companies, so the companies that are still doing whatever that product is, they're just gonna charge more because there's less competition. So, in theory, that's not really like the way to do it.
Yeah,
supply really creates its own competition. If you have a lot of supply, then the price drops.
I mean, I feel like well, if you have especially if you have a oversupply and not a lot of demand, then the price drops. But what I was thinking about something the other day, and I feel like in a weird way, we talk. I don't even know if I want to talk about this because it's a little complicated, and drinking alcohol and trying to have conversations like this is quickly.
It is kind of crazy. It's like I'm racking my brain right now because I'm actually learning about this right now in macro class. There's like the neoclassical perspective where like they believe that supply creates demand.
That's literally what I was. I swear to fucking God. But this was something that I thought about. I was like, I think just supply creates demand.
So you're a neoclassical macroeconomics.
I think to some degree I am, yeah.
Because the Keynesian one is the other one where they believe that demand creates supply.
Yeah,
but,
Keynesian, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's exactly what I'm learning this week. Literally right now, that's what my assignment that I did last night was.
Just so we're clear.
Did I just mind read?
Yes, you did.
That's crazy.
Literally you did. Because I was going to try to go down this rabbit hole. And I'm happy that you're also taking a macro class because now you're kind of already... I mean, they're going to be confused, but we're kind of on the same page. But these are the thoughts sometimes when I'm just sitting by myself. I'm like, I wonder if supply creates demand.
I don't think about it as much as you do. I promise you that. But
and that's a sign of having something wrong with you. But that's the
no. It's good that you think about the things that are arguably more important to you as a consumer.
It's fun.
It's
American
fun to think about, like American citizen. But
it's fun to think
about.
But
yeah, I agree that supply creates its own demand.
Yeah,
because like if you have a bunch of supply, right? And then that diminishes the price, and people are going to buy it more. Or they're going to buy more of it. They're going to buy more of it.
But I'm thinking more in the sense that, like, you can just, like, there's no demand for something, and you create something. And then
yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of. Like,
people will buy things if there's a lot of it at a short price. That's consumerism.
Yeah.
You buy things that you don't need all the time. But if there's no supply for them and they're expensive, you're not going to buy it. So if there's a lot of supply and no demand, then the price drops. Then people will start buying it, thus creating demand, and it equals out.
Bro,
it's all proportional.
You know what the weirdest thing is? I was talking to my girlfriend the other day about credit cards and credit card debt and trying to explain. And I told her, first of all, credit cards, 22%. Hello.
Yeah.
What the?
You don't use a credit card to borrow.
What the actual fuck?
You can't do that.
Like, yeah, you just try to build credit.
If you need to buy something expensive that bad, take a personal loan at 12%.
But here's, bro.
That's it.
Here's the thing. I was thinking about it. It's really weird that the U.S. is one of the only countries, and I can't speak for Eastern, at least like Western countries, that really utilizes like credit cards and like credit scores and X, Y, and Z. Like,
I don't really know how that. I don't know like internationally anything about that at all.
Like credit cards my dad has, like
probably like 20 or 30.
Like literally 20 or 30.
A lot of people with really good credit have like 10 plus.
But the fuck?
But having more credit cards equates to a better credit score.
I feel like there has to be I guess so, because if you can manage a lot of
you don't need to even use them. You actually don't want to use them.
Yeah.
You want to use a lower utilization of your total overall credit.
Credit confuses me, man.
It doesn't actually make sense. I got 20 points deducted the other day for like zero reason.
Yeah.
They're just like, yep, 20 points gone.
And you can
paying
dispute
my car
that,
bill.
but like
I could, but like why don't like I actually got my car refied the other day. I refied my auto loan. And
well, maybe that's why.
No, before
because it wasn't an inquiry,
No, it got deducted the month before that.
Interesting.
But what it said was that I used $800 worth of my credit utilization on my Apple Card.
There you go.
But I never the bill was never at 800. I think they misconstrued the amount that I used that month and didn't counter in like all of the payments that I made. Because I may have spent 800, but because I used my credit card for everything, I didn't have 800 in debt.
Yeah.
I'm not in debt, but like I use.
I am. That's why.
But I use it for everything, so maybe I spent $800 in that month. But I don't think they I don't think they altered in the payments. It thought that I had 800 at once, but I paid it off like 100 at a time. Like every time I paid 100, like I would have another 100.
Oh, so you weren't doing
it
like
never went that high.
It was never 800 without
it
a
never
payment
hit.
in between.
It never even hit maybe over 300 or 400
Without a payment in between.
Without a payment dropping it below 400.
I see. That's what I mean, though. Like
they messed that up on there, and I know they did, but I'm not even gonna bother because what they said was that my score is high enough. I went to the bank the other day. The lady told me my score is high enough now that the 20-point deduction doesn't change where I am in the status of like good, great, excellent.
Yeah.
So for that reason, it doesn't actually affect me at all. But if I was like teetering on the line of like 640 and like that dropped me to like 620, that might have like an impact. But it was like, I don't even care. I'm just gonna say it was like 780 to, or it was like 790 to like drop down to 772.
No, yeah, you're fucking joking.
So like that drop didn't actually.
You're over like an overperformer.
Yeah, so that I'm still overperforming even with that drop. So
yeah,
that's why it didn't matter.
Yeah, that's not gonna like. No bank's gonna lend you more because you have 20.
And I got an instant approval on my refi because I had been with DCU for years, so they didn't even run a hard inquiry. They ran like a medium or like soft inquiry. They didn't actually have to run it hard.
Well, I feel like if they can see that you're credit.
Well, because I had both of my loans with them, and they can see my entire history. My entire credit history is with them.
Bro, it's funny because we're talking about credit, but I think I told you the story before. So for a while, I had done real estate. Or for a while I did real estate.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I think I've told you this story about this girl who told me one time about, okay, so when you go to get an apartment or go to get a loan for a house, you want to buy a house, whatever it is, you need to show the landlord or the bank your credit history. They get some sort of credit report.
Like a hard inquiry, like credit
something.
report.
Something that shows that you can, say if you want to get a landlord, something that shows that you can pay your bills.
Yeah.
Right? So, fine. So usually you have to pull a credit report. But this girl had no credit history. So she... And this is literally, I kid you not, this particular client was one of the reasons why I stopped doing real estate because I can't stand. I deal with people at work already at night. I don't need to do it in the day. Yeah. She asked me if she could use her Netflix subscription as proof of paying like a repeated bill to show her landlord. Now, this same person also asked... Imagine I was like, oh yeah, like imagine I didn't know and I was like, hey, Mr. Landlord, she's been paying her Netflix subscription for 9 months.
She's had $11. She's had at least $8 for the last 2 years. She has had $8 per month for 3 years now. You should really consider her for this $4,000 a month rent.
Now here's the catch. Here's the catch 22. She wanted to live on and this is the type of shit that made me want to quit. In the seaport.
Okay, so first of all, no.
On the sea, yeah.
But go on.
But she doesn't have a real job. She's a student.
Okay.
Seaport, top floor, ocean view, pets allowed, balcony. I go...
Pets allowed balcony is just... That alone just makes
And by the way, if you have the money, of course, anything's possible.
Yeah, you can buy a penthouse.
You know what her budget was? $1,800. I go...
A month.
That's
because she pays for Netflix.
If
she has to budget. She has to budget.
It would be $1,808.
Yeah. If she didn't have Netflix, it would be $1,809.99. Okay.
Yeah. So
you can't get a room for $1,800, bro.
You can't get a shoebox for $1,800. You can maybe live on Mass Ave in Boston.
You can maybe get a building like like, you can rent a floor of like a 2 or 3 family, maybe.
You're not getting your own place.
Maybe.
No.
In like Revere, Everett, Chelsea.
Yeah. And that's
maybe.
pushing it. And Revere even is
probably
expensive.
like $2,000 for a floor.
Lynn, maybe Lynn. But
with that proximity to
even
the
with
to
Revere,
Boston,
the beach is
not.
expensive in Revere now because the beach is actually kind of nice. And you got the train.
I know somebody who lives in one of those new buildings and stuff. Like, I'm not gonna name drop, but they said it was like $2,700 a month for like it was like a pretty spacious 1 bedroom, but that's $2,700 in Revere on the like.
I mean, we're never gonna let go of the idea.
Seaport is like
people from Revere. For some reason, we kind of like having this idea of that Revere is kind of hard.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not. And
Not
by the way,
anymore,
it's
maybe.
actually kind of nice.
It really is nice. And the proximity to Boston, I don't care if you're from like Everett, Chelsea, like East Boston. I don't care. Revere is the best place to be because it's just as close as everywhere else. And it bridges the gap between Boston and North Shore perfectly. And there's enough room for suburbs.
Yeah.
No other place.
And where we live is even better because we
Yeah.
connect right onto the highway.
Exactly. It's actually perfect.
I'm not going to drop my address, but I mean,
No,
you can kind of figure
I
out
will.
where I'm
Beep. Street.
Street, play the street here.
Street, Revere.
But yeah, I'm, and you know what's funny is that people also still have the perception outside of Revere that Revere is kind of shit. Like people
Good, keep them out. I don't want
yeah, keep them out. They're dead ass.
As many people not living here as possible.
Literally.
Please.
I'll anti-gentrify Revere for you. Yeah, this place still sucks. Don't come over here.
There's a lot of places that like 10 years ago, I wasn't allowed to like go down there as a kid, like more near the water areas.
Oh
like,
yeah.
My parents wouldn't let me like walk down there and whatnot because of like all the stuff that would happen down there. But now, like, I would say that like on the beach, like the beachfront, all those new buildings, living
nice.
there is just as nice as living here.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's very nice, and they have a lot of stuff over there now, like new restaurants, new things to do. The beach is cleaned up.
The restaurants are good, bro. I love
Food
the
trucks,
restaurants.
bro. Like
They got everything.
I don't know if you call that club. What's that one on the top of the staircase?
The place that I
Drift.
went? Yeah, Drift, yeah.
It's like
yeah.
dancey bar.
Yeah,
it's
it
not
kind
a
of
club.
changed.
but
I like how... No, it's just it's a
outdoor
vibe.
dining. It's nice, bro.
It's
Right
nice.
next to the train station. You get out, you walk 10 feet out of the
Wonderful.
train station. You're right in front of Drift.
Yeah, I love that place.
It's beautiful. It's very nice.
And you know, even the projects. I mean, that was like a thing that we were like so afraid of when we were little, like walking through.
My parents just didn't really want me to walk down there, like whatever.
It's not
I've
even
never
now.
seen anything bad happen there.
Bro, you know who I used
I
to...
don't live there,
I
but
used to fuck with... Sorry, Harris.
Harris.
I used to fuck with him all the time. I'd walk in there and go, swoop! And then I'd like walk through and he'd be like, bro! He'd start punching me. He's like, bro, stop doing that. The project's gonna get us killed. I'm like, bro, there's no one here.
Yeah,
No one's gonna start shit over here.
Yeah, he was definitely... I never saw you do that, but I know you guys talk about it.
I used to do it alone with him. I mean, I don't really know.
Scared.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think there's anything really... Like, and also, if you've ever seen projects in other cities, bro, like, there's a not even close to, like...
No.
The actual setup of the Revere ones are, like, actually pretty nice compared to,
Yeah,
like,
they are.
like, the houses are kind of spread apart. Like, they're not on top of each other. It's actually not...
Yeah, they have like big common areas in the back, too.
I'm not saying it's, like, probably... I don't know, but I'm not saying, like, oh, yeah, like... It's nice to live there.
No,
I'm
yeah.
not saying
Yeah.
that. Like, I'm not downplaying it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's like...
It's probably...
basically as nice as the beach at this
Yeah,
point.
no. I mean, but, like... I don't want to make it seem like I'm doing that, but also... It seems like okay.
And they're part of good schools. I mean,
Yeah.
Wayland, like being in that
Right in
area,
front of Wayland.
Wayland is a great school.
Yeah.
Or a great school. Now, I'm always for the rest of my life going to shit on Lincoln. But that's besides the point.
Why?
People have no idea. Like, that school always has looked dilapidated. Like,
A little bit.
even when
It's
we
like
were
one of the
young.
oldest ones.
Yeah. Well,
Besides Paul Revere, but they changed that. They made it the Hill Park School.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh,
But
my
now,
God, I forgot.
now
about
Paul Revere is like...
Dead.
It's like office buildings for like the police or something. He's been dead for like 300 years, bro. Why'd you say it like it was news? But yeah, they changed that school.
And
And the McKinley too.
something about having a car now has made the world in the weirdest way seem larger.
Yeah.
Like
microcosm of Revere isn't your entire universe anymore.
yeah, but like for some reason, hear me out. Kevin's house in the Whalen and your house and everyone else seemed so much closer when I was biking or walking. Even though it took me longer to get there, like it felt like, oh, I could walk there no problem. If you told me to walk to Kevin's house now, I'd be like, what are you, fucking dumb?
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that.
I mean, you could, but, like, why would you?
Why would you? And
I think it's one of those things.
And I used to, like, walk to Hill Park, no problem. I'd go walk to Hill Park. I'd play for 6 hours and walk home.
We'd walk to HP all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Like, multiple times a week.
There's something about getting a car has made me, extremely lazy.
Yeah.
But just everything feel a lot bigger. I don't know, I hate it.
You don't like it?
No.
I've tried walking places in recent time and, like, do a little throwback, like, bike somewhere. And, like...
You were biking a lot over the summer.
Yeah, I biked a lot. I tried to bike a lot in the summer. And then, when you're doing it, you're like, damn, how did I do this, like, every day?
Every day.
Like, everywhere I went.
Fucking Harris used to pennyboard.
I used to pennyboard.
Remember pennyboarding? That was a thing.
Yeah, that was a thing for a very short-lived amount of time. And not a lot of people did it. It was just me, Harris, and he and Nguyen.
Yeah,
It's just us three.
Dude,
We're the only ones that did that.
Up a hill on a pennyboard.
I would just
stop.
walk.
Like, yeah, what do you...
What I would do is I would just kick the board up the hill, and then I'd, like, run up to it. And I'd just keep kicking it up the hill. And then like, once I'm about to peek over, I kick it, and then as it's moving over the hill, I just jump on it again.
See, the pennyboarding would have really taken off in a place like LA. Well, that's probably why it did.
Well, no, it did, though.
That's
where like most people use pennyboards, skateboards, longboards. That's all like LA stuff.
Nice weather.
Where like everything's
roads.
flat and nice out all the time. Revere was not built for pennyboarding infrastructure.
No, it was built for hoverboarding though. I fucking took a hoverboard everywhere.
I never
for
had
a whole
one of
summer.
those things.
Remember they were exploding?
Yeah.
My biggest.
They were just blowing
I
up.
basically had to make a PowerPoint to get a hoverboard for my house.
Really?
I basically want to have a bomb in the house that I can ride.
Here's a bomb, but we're gonna pay a lot of money for it. It's like $500.
And I'm also gonna ride it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna use it for transportation mostly. It's like that SpongeBob episode.
Portable explosive.
They're bombs. They're made
in a bomb factory.
It's so funny. We were just talking about that like the other day.
We were, and it's great deadpan comedy.
Yeah,
bombs.
They're made in a bomb factory.
Oh man. All right, what do we say?
I don't know. Do we start now, or was that the whole thing? We just talked for 35 minutes. We just did the podcast.
I know. I mean, I feel like that was... I'm satiated.
We just never introduced ourselves.
I don't give a shit. I don't know how to introduce anything. It's going to start. The podcast is going to... Watch. Hold on. We can retroactively start. What's up? No, I'm just kidding. I'll cut that out.
I'm not cutting that out.
What's up, nice people? Today we're back with another podcast of Uncorked. Whatever the fuck this podcast name is. Man, I took that shot before we started and now I'm buzzing in the face, bro.
Well, this has been Uncorked. We did it a little differently today, so thank you for bearing with us.
Yeah, I think it was nice.
It was better this time.
I feel good.
I had a really good feeling about that conversation.
I'm tight in the face, though.
That's okay. We're going to get even more diabolical after this.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, before I do my devoir.
Mm-hmm.
My homework. Whoa.
Was that homework in French?
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. See you later, folks.